Welcome to another video. I am the Starman, another live stream. Yeah, I thought I'd just do this live stream. Got 15 people watching already. Hit the like button, hit the thumbs up. I'm not going to be on long. I'm going to be on till about 8:30. And by the way, I've just been looking at the thing on the TV for the advertisement, the sort of preview. It says it was supposed to start at 7 o'clock on there. I don't know what time it said on yours, but there was a few people waiting, so it looks like you've all got the right time. But on my TV here, it says 1900 hours, and I put down for 8 o'clock, so that's wrong. I don't know why it's saying that. Anyway, I'm here now. Hi Sheila, hi Tom. And anybody else who's joined us, what it is I'm just doing this quick live stream just to talk about the solar eclipse that we're going to see this week. Hopefully, if it's not cloudy, it's going to be a partial solar eclipse. I'll just wait for a few more people to come in. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the thumbs up. So we've got David McCullen. He says 8 p.m. Yeah, on mine it says 1900 on my TV. I always look on the TV because it always shows you the preview upcoming event, and it says 1900 for some reason. So hi Sheila, hi Tom. Who else have we got? Anybody else in the room? We've got 22 watching. Margaret Hartnett. Hi Steve from Margaret in Cork. I've heard there's a Blackpool. Is there a Blackpool somewhere around Cork? Because I've been looking for other places called Blackpool, and I was down in one last week in Devon, UK, right down on the south coast. There's a place called Blackpool Sands. It's not a town. Hi Barry Hart. It's only a beach, and it's called Blackpool Beach. And I was thinking, how many other Blackpools are there? And someone says there are 2 in Ireland. One's near Cork. I don't know. It's probably, I don't know if it's a place or just a name for an area. Hi Julie Miller. Yeah, so what I want to do, hi Helen, up there in Scotland. I bet it doesn't get very dark at night up there now, does it? Because we've got the summer twilight now. We're heading towards the solstice. Hi Dave Murphy. Hi Midlands Girl. Yeah, so she's still going well, by the way. Thank you very much. So yeah, this is just a video talking about the partial eclipse that we're going to see this week. It's on Thursday. It's a partial solar eclipse, and we'll be able to see it here in the UK if it's not cloudy. The whole thing lasts about 2.5 hours. That's from the point where the moon touches the sun, just touches the sun, and then moves across it, and then off the other end. It takes about 2.5 hours, I think. I think it starts around 10 o'clock. It does depend where you are. The maximum eclipse from where I am is around about maybe up to 30%. A 30% chunk taken out of the Jeremy Miller says on your TV says 1900. Yeah, that's weird, that, isn't it? Yeah, I don't really know why that happened. So on Thursday at about it's going to be about 11:30 when it's the maximum eclipse. So the moon's going to move in front of the sun, and it's going to take about a 30% chunk for most of northern England. The further north you are, a little bit more. If you're down on the south coast, it's going to be a bit less. So it does depend on where you are. So Blackpool is a suburb of the north side of Cork City. Well, there you go. Hey, someone told me, how about this, Margaret? Someone told me that Dublin actually means Blackpool in Gaelic. How's that? So Dublin is actually Blackpool. How about that, eh? Will you see it in James Singleton? What's that? I don't get the question. You can see it in Canada. In fact, you can see the total eclipse. It's not a total eclipse, it's an annular eclipse. It's not a total eclipse of the sun, even if you're in the maximum eclipse path, because the moon, you know, the moon is sometimes closer and sometimes further away, depending on the orbit. We have an elliptical orbit. Well, the Earth has an elliptical orbit, and so does the moon around the Earth. And sometimes it's further away. So when the moon is further away and it passes in front of the sun, it doesn't block out all of the sun. So you get this ring. And the reason why they call it an annular eclipse is because annular means ring. It's got nothing to do with yearly, annual, nothing. Forget about annular, yearly. It's nothing to do with that. It's all to do with the ring effect that you get around the sun. Now, if you're in northern Canada, and I mean, you're going to have to be right up there in the wilds of Canada. I don't think many people are going to see this eclipse. Really, it's in the wilds. It really is in the wilds. Will you see it in Audley, England? Yeah. I don't know where Audley is, but most of the UK gets to see a decent chunk taken out of the moon. It'll look like a Pac-Man. So if you think about a Pac-Man, sort of lying on its side, it'll look a bit like this, you know, when the moon moves in front of it. And it takes about 2.5 hours from start to finish. So there's plenty of time to see it. We really want to see it at its maximum, which is going to be about 11:30. But as I said, if you want to see the full eclipse, the best part of the eclipse, the annular eclipse, Scotland, you're good up there, Sheila. Yep, you get to see a bit more. You get to see maybe 35%, maybe. You get to see a bit more of the moon covering the sun up in Scotland. And I've actually just trying to make a video. I went out and rushed a video last night and I haven't had a chance to put it out, just to give you some tips on how to look at it. Because of course you can't look at the sun with your eyes. It's going to be high up in the sky. It's going to be halfway up the sky. When you know, it's going to be almost well, we're getting towards midday, aren't we? When it's total, you know, the best part of the eclipse. So you're not going to be able to look at it. So the best way to do it is to punch a hole in a piece of card. Just stick a pin through a piece of card and hold it up to a wall or up to another piece of paper, and then you'll see a cutout. You normally see like a circle, but when the moon moves across the sun, if you do that when the moon is moving across, you'll get the shape. You'll see the shape. So when it's like a Pac-Man, you'll see a little Pac-Man on your card, and that's a good way of doing it. Or you could hold a pair of binoculars. Don't look through them. Hold a pair of binoculars down towards a piece of card or something like that, you know, and you can project the sun through them. If you hold it exactly right so that the sun shines straight through, you can do that, and that's a fairly safe way of doing it as well. You can do it with a telescope as well, but you have to be careful. If you have a big telescope, one of these big telescopes, they can sometimes take in too much heat from the sun and they can melt, so you have to really watch what you're doing. Yeah, the safest way to do it is just punch a hole in a bit of card and use that card and stick it on a, you know, use it fairly clear. It'll be small, you know, you get a tiny little dot, but you should be able to see the Pac-Man. It's a way of seeing it. Don't look at the sun unless you've got those special glasses. Now, I did have some special glasses, but I don't know where they are, because when I went to see the eclipse in Wyoming in 2017, the Great American Eclipse, that was a total eclipse of the sun. We had these special glasses, eclipse glasses, that we could look at the sun during the eclipse, and I obviously photographed it as well. So yeah, that was a good thing. Yeah, but all eclipses are different, you know. They're all different, and this one is quite an interesting one, being an annular eclipse. And another thing as well is that it also depends what time you see the eclipse. I mean, we're seeing it sort of midday-ish, you know, coming up to midday. But just imagine if we were seeing it towards sunset, or even towards sunrise, when the sun is very low. Can you imagine? We would see the Pac-Man sun, we'd see the sun. That would be awesome, because then you would actually be able to look at it. Because you'll know during a sunset or a sunrise, it's possible to look towards the sun. I don't recommend staring at it for a long time, but it is possible to see the sun when it's on the horizon, because you're looking through such a thick atmosphere. So do you need any filters to photograph it? You really need a Mylar filter. They do not recommend you use neutral density. Some people do use neutral density, but they don't recommend it. It's not safe to use neutral density filters. When it comes to using a fast shutter speed, I don't think you'll have a shutter speed fast enough to photograph it. 1/8,000th of a second, stop it all the way down. You might be able to get something, but I don't really recommend trying to photograph it without filters. It's with the sun being so high up, and it's quite strong as well, you know. So it is risky. Some people do it. I wouldn't recommend it, you know, unless you've got a high carpet Chris. Let's see who else have we got. Sheila says she's going to try it. Good. Can you see it with sunglasses? No, no, don't look at it with sunglasses. Hi, Paul MLS. Is that MLS6? Julie Miller says she's going to try it. Sheila gives me the thumbs up. Scotland, yes, you can see it. 35 people in. Don't forget to hit the like button if you've just joined us. So don't use anything. Don't use welding glasses, they say, because welding glasses let through the UV light. You see, anything, it has to be a particular type of, it's called Mylar. You can actually buy it, and it's not dear to buy. You can look at the sun through it, and you can actually make your own filter out of it. You can buy it. There's a firm called 1,000 Oaks. 1,000 Oaks, and I think they're American. I think it's California. And you can go on there. Yeah, I've got a bit of a tan, haven't I? Yeah. And you can buy this film. It looks, I tell you what it looks like. It looks like special glasses. Yeah. Well, hopefully you might be able to get hold of some. Paul, surely not Smith is in the house. Yeah. So I tell you what it looks like, this film. It looks like tinfoil. It does look like tinfoil. Steampunk glasses, says Carpy Chris, whatever that is. Yeah, so even those people that are lucky enough to be in northern Canada and they get to see the Ring of Fire, that's what they call it, the Ring of Fire, when the moon passes in front of the sun and it doesn't block out all the light because it's too far away, they will have to wear glasses to look at it, but you won't be able to look at the sun even then, and it won't go all that dark either. We will not notice any change in light, even though the moon is going to cover up about 30% of the sun. We will not notice you'll not notice anything changing to the light. It needs to block off, I would say it probably needs to block off a lot more than half of the sun before you do start to notice the light go down. Yeah, if you look at pictures of it, you'll see. It must be amazing to see one, especially, even more so, like I said before, if you happen to see one of these eclipses when the sun is low, if you're lucky to be in a place where the totality, where the best part of it is when the sun is low down, either rising or setting, that would be absolutely amazing, wouldn't it? Because it would actually give you the chance to look at it as well. I mean, can you imagine something like that over Blackpool? What a sunset that would be. You know, if the sun was going down and we had like a ring of fire, wouldn't that be absolutely amazing? I mean, even just seeing the partial would be awesome, because you'd see the sun cut out like a Pac-Man and it would be going down over the horizon. So yeah, so the eclipse is going to be visible in northern Canada. And when I say northern Canada, I mean wild northern Canada. Anyone who lives in like maybe Toronto or the big cities, they've got an expedition on to go and see this eclipse. I mean, you know, they might be able to do it. I'm not sure what the travel's like at the moment. It's not very good. But you can see totality. I say totality, it's not really total, but you can see the maximum effect, the Ring of Fire from Canada. And it also passes very close to, if not over, the North Pole. So this eclipse can be visible on the North Pole. Can you believe that? Are you looking at the eclipse in your garden? Yeah, I think I might do. I might see if I can do a live stream on the eclipse. If I can manage to connect my phone to my telescope and I get a filter for it. So I've got to run around for a filter. I haven't got a filter at the moment, and I should do, really. I'll see if I can get hold of a filter, and I'll put the telescope on, and I'll put my phone on, and we'll see if we can do a live of the eclipse. That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? We could watch it live, as long as it's not cloudy. I mean, I've actually looked forward to the weather. The weather doesn't look too bad. So I'm out all night driving, so I might see it. Says Carpy Chris. Yeah. So it's not looking too bad. Weather-wise is all right this week. And even if it is cloudy on the morning, hopefully we'll get a glimpse glimpse of it. And it won't be that cloudy that we won't be able to see the sun through the clouds, at least get some glimpses of it. The last time we had a decent eclipse was 2015, and it was a pretty good one because we had 90%. I think it was about 90%. It was a fair chunk of the sun, and you did notice it did go dim. Unfortunately, we were very, very clouded out. You know, we did get to see it in between the clouds, but it was kind of in and out, you know. I think that was the one that they saw in Manchester. We were up here in Blackpool with the astronomy club, in a field, trying to squint to see the sun through the clouds. You know, when it kind of poked out and we saw the eclipse. And yet over in Manchester, they had a perfect day in Manchester. They saw the whole thing over there. So that was back in 2015. I was with the... when's the next total eclipse in the UK? I think it's about 80 years. I think it is. I think it's 2099, I think. And it'll probably be cloudy as well. So I'll have to look that up. But if you want to know the best site, forget about all these sites that talk about the eclipse, forget about the papers, forget about the Express, forget about all these papers. There are some good sites that do talk about the eclipse, but the best site, if you ask me, for finding out about eclipses, learning about them, is mreclipse.com. So that's the guy from, I think he used to work for NASA, Fred Espenak, and he is the guy for eclipses. He's the number one, and he has a site. He has all the eclipses forecast for the next, I think it's the next 100 years. So that's the one you need to capture with the tower in the background. Yeah, Julie, yeah, that I would like to do that, and I would be able to do that if it was setting or rising. Well, more likely if it was setting, because I could find somewhere a long distance away from the tower. But the reason why I can't do that, Julie, is because the sun is going to be so high up that it's going to need a really fast shutter speed, and it's going to need a filter on the lens, so that everything else is going to be completely dark. So there's no way I'll be able to photograph it with the tower. The only way I could photograph it with the tower is to say, I could probably have the sun behind one of the, one of the features on the tower. I could have it behind one of them and maybe do it that way, but I don't think it would really work because it'd just be like a silhouette, and I don't think it would work. Hi, Wendy. So yeah, so there you go, Julie. Yeah, I would like to try and photograph it with the tower, but I'm afraid it's not going to be possible. It's just going to have to be a shot of the sun on its own. That's it, because it's so high up, you see. If you were in Canada, or if you're in, I think it's Siberia, because it passes over Siberia and Russia, so they'll get a chance to see the ring of fire over there as well. So that'd be pretty cool, that. Yeah. And yeah, so there you go. The moon is a little bit further away in its orbit, so it's not enough to cover the sun for this eclipse. So there you go. Yeah. So yeah, so the moon as it goes around the Earth, it's around about it's about so much off our plane. If we go around the sun like this, the moon is about this much off. So it kind of goes on a slightly tilted orbit. If it was on the same orbit as ours, flat on the same orbit as ours, we'd have an eclipse every month. We'd have a total solar eclipse every month. Maybe not a total solar eclipse, because it would still be, might still move forward and backwards. But we'd have an eclipse every month, and we'd also have a lunar eclipse every month. Now, we had the lunar eclipse last month, but we unfortunately didn't. You normally get a lunar eclipse very close to a solar eclipse, and they normally happen before or after the solar eclipse. Well, this one the lunar eclipse happened a couple of weeks ago, but unfortunately we couldn't see it where we were. It was the what was it, the flower moon? I think it was the flower moon. I took a photograph of it, the flower moon, and that was actually taken before it went into the eclipse. So there you go. It's all happening in the morning or the afternoon. Most of it starts in the morning. I think it starts around about 10 o'clock. Don't quote me on that. 10 o'clock to half. It does depend where you are. It's going to differ a bit from the south coast to I could probably just look it up actually. So the eclipse is going to last for about 2.5 hours from when the sun first touches when the moon first touches the sun until it moves off at the other end. So yeah, so it's going to be pretty good actually. Hi Mark. Mark's joined us. So 39 watts, that's not bad, is it? So yeah, total eclipse, June the 10th, make a note in your diary. Set a reminder on your phone for around about 10 o'clock or so, or maybe a little bit before, to tell you that the moon is going to move in front of the sun, and it might be worth having a little look and just make yourself a little pinhole, and you might be able to see the moon, because otherwise you wouldn't know it was happening. If you didn't know, because like I said, it's not going to affect the light. It will affect the amount of energy and light coming to the earth, but we probably won't notice it. You're not going to notice the moon taking a chunk out of the sun by up to 30. You're just not going to notice. I think it needs to be more than 50% before you notice. It really does, because you wouldn't think it, would you really? You think if the moon was going to take a 30% chunk out of the sun, you think you'd know the light would drop, wouldn't you? Think, oh, 30%. No, it doesn't. When I watched the total solar eclipse in America in 2017, the total solar eclipse, it wasn't until the sun was about 75% covered that you noticed that the light dropped. And it wasn't until it was around about 90% that you really noticed that the light was falling. So there you go. It might not be very obvious, if you don't know that the sun is being eclipsed, it might not be very obvious, so there you go. Is it going to be cold when it does happen? No, I don't think it'll make much difference to the heat, really. It won't make any difference. No, I don't think so. So there you go. Total. I say total, not total. It's an annular solar eclipse on June the 10th. And I'll just show you here. This is a total solar eclipse. That's the one that I saw in America, a total solar eclipse. The one in Casper, Wyoming. We're going to see something like this. Can I point at it? This one here. You see this one? Top middle. You see the one at the top middle is very similar to what we will see on Thursday. Maybe a little bit more than that. It's probably not quite as much. If you're on the south coast, that's what you might see. But if you're in Scotland, you'll get quite a bit more than this. I think we'll get a bigger chunk. But can you see how it looks like a Pac-Man? That's what the sun is going to look like on Thursday in the UK when the moon starts to pass in front of it from our perspective. But we won't get this. In fact, this will not happen anywhere on Earth because the moon isn't big enough this time to cover the whole of the sun. I remember both 2015 and 2015 was really good. And 2000, I don't remember 2000. I don't know what I was doing then. The sky went really dark yellow and it was very unsettling, says Sheila M. Julie Miller, thank you. Susan is it Burby? Is in the house. So yeah, so make a note of it now. Put it in your phone or set an alarm for 9 o'clock on Thursday, just so you know in advance. Just a reminder that the moon will pass in front of the sun and it'll start around about 10 o'clock. So there's plenty of time to see it. 10 o'clock until about 12:30 roughly is when the moon starts to touch the sun to when it goes across it. Maximum eclipse around about 11:30. And do wildlife notice eclipse? Yes, they do actually. Yeah, they do. They go quiet, the birds. I noticed that back in 2015, all the birds went silent. They all went back home, I think. They all left the trees. So it does. And even if it's cloudy, it goes dark. It goes darker. So It does, it does. The birds, I think the birds just stop singing. They don't know what's going on, you see. In the Midlands, in Audley. James Simpkins says Audley is in the Midlands. Yeah, so I think you'll have about roughly similar to what we get. It's going to be about 25 to 30%. So it's going to be, expect to see something like that there. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. That's what it's going to be like. And it's going to be sort of that. It's going to be almost on its back, almost. Because the moon is going to rub across the top from where we see. It's going to go across the top of the sun. It's going to skim right across the top. So it's going to look something like that there. Yeah, it's a pity it won't get to that, because that would be really nice, wouldn't it? And you would notice, you'd definitely notice the light blocked if it got that far. So yeah, so there you go. Like I say, the ways to look at it are, the best way to look at it is to use a pinhole. Just get a bit of cereal box or something, just stick a pinhole in it, hold it up to what do you call it, and you'll see. Here's a cool thing as well. Has anybody got a colander? If you've got a colander, this is really cool. Just hold the colander up to the wall. Get a colander, and you see loads of Pac-Men when the eclipse is happening. Just get a colander, hold it up to and you'll see a load of Pac-Men. Yeah, you'll see. That's a way of doing it. That's a way of doing it as well. A safe way. Just get a colander and hold it up. A colander that's got circular. They've not all got circular things, have they? It's got to have circular holes. But yeah, that'll work. So. And also you can hold binoculars up. Don't look through them, just hold them the other way around. I'll see if I can get this video sorted for tomorrow, where I sort of describe how to do that. So yeah, I've never done it, but I've heard it's pretty cool to use a colander. You can see loads and loads of Pac-Man when the sun starts to be eclipsed. So this eclipse, I don't think many people are going to be able to see it, because we've got a lot of restrictions at the moment, haven't we? And as I say, to be able to see the best part of the eclipse, the ring of fire, you have to be in northern Canada. In fact, it goes right over the pole. It goes right over the pole. If you go on that site, mreclipse.com, and you look up the predictions for all you have to click on predictions for all the eclipses up till, I think it's up till about the year 3000 or something, and you can see an animation on there of where the actual shadow goes. It shows you the whole shadow, what they call the penumbra. That's when we see a partial eclipse, we have like a shadow that comes over the earth, and it's called the penumbra. But if you're underneath the maximum eclipse, which isn't going to happen this time because the moon's not big enough, but if it was a total eclipse, you'd be underneath the umbra. If you was to see the total eclipse, you have to be under that very small shadow that they call the umbra during the total eclipse, and that's where we were in Casper back in 2017. Will it be online? I think yeah, there'll be people streaming it, I'm sure. It's not on TV as far as I know, but it was on TV last time. You know, in 2015, I think it was Stargazing Live, streamed it live, you know, and it was really, really good. They actually streamed the eclipse, the total eclipse, from, I think it was from a plane. Yeah, they filmed it from a plane. That was really, really good, that was. Nothing like that happening this time, I'm afraid. So we are on the edges of the eclipse. Well, at least we get to see a bit of it. It's something. Got 50 watching. Hit the like button. If you've just joined us, hit the thumbs up. Let's see that thumbs up go up from 35. Get us up. We're only on for another minute or so. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the like button. Let's see that get up there. Just talking about the eclipse. I'll try and get this video out. I've been meaning to put a video out on it, you know, to show you how to do it, or just to give you a bit more info. I'll see if I can sort that for tomorrow, and I'll show you how to use the card and the binoculars. And there you go. Janice is in the house. Oh shoot, only just got here. I'll try and do the video, Janice. I don't think you're losing your marbles, by the way. I know that's what you keep saying. Calendar's a great idea. Will it be online? Can't be, Chris. Nice one, Steve. Yeah. So yeah, so make a note in your diary, or set your alarm or calendar now to Thursday, this Thursday, June the 10th, Set it for about 9 o'clock to tell you that the moon is going to move in front of the sun in the UK. If you're lucky enough to live in Greenland, don't think we've got many people watching in Greenland, but they have got a chance of seeing, not sure if they get to see the total eclipse, or they get to see quite a nice, I think they might get to see the total eclipse, you know, in Greenland, but that's on the very far reaches of Greenland, almost in the polar, you know, polar reaches. If you're on Iceland, you get to see a bit more as well. I think Iceland get about 40% or something like that. So the further north you are, the more you get to see. Calendar and colander, that's good, yeah. Hey, that's good, that, yeah. Calendar and colander. Do it anytime, just do it. Just put a calendar up to the sun and you'll see the sun. I think, you know what? I think you can see sunspots using a colander. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on this, but you might. If there was any sunspots, big sunspots, you might actually be able to see them using a colander. I'm not sure, but I will try and see if I can get hold of a filter, and see if I can put it on my lens, and then see if I can stream the total eclipse of your heart. Total eclipse of the heart. Sorry, can't sing. So there you go, we've got 50 people watching. Hit the like button if you haven't hit the like button, but we are about to go off now. Yeah, this is just a preview, just letting you know about the eclipse that's happening on June the 10th this week in the UK. If you're in the UK, you can see the moon take a chunk out of the sun from around about 10 o'clock on June the 10th, Thursday. This Thursday coming, around about 10 o'clock it starts, when the moon starts to take a bite out of the sun. And then by around about 11:30, it's going to take its maximum bite out. If you're anywhere in the UK, you'll be able to see it. The further north you are, the more you get to see. So look out for it. It lasts till about 12:30. You won't notice any drop in light. Don't look at the sun with your eyes. Use a card, put a pen hole in it, hold it up to the... Will it work if you hold the box up? If you put a hole in it, I think, yeah. My wife stood in front of the sun and caused a total eclipse. Yeah, you can do that, yeah. Would it be safe to watch the eclipse for a roll of camera film? No, I've heard that. I've heard people say that as well. No, you can't. You can't, no. Don't try and look at it through anything other than official solar safety film. The safety glasses, you know, the solar glasses that you can get. You might have some knocking around. I had some. I don't know where they are. I'm going to have to see if I can find them, because they'd be really handy actually. You have to use a special solar filter. Don't try using anything other than that. No welding glasses, no sticking loads of sunglasses together, no neutral density filters. Don't do anything like that. Just do it the safe way. Hold a piece of card up. Use your binoculars. Get some binoculars, 10 times 50, whatever. Put them the other way around. Put them up to a piece of card, and you'll see a big like projection of the sun, and you'll see it. You'll see when the moon starts to take it. You'll say, "Oh, look at that! There's a big chunk taken out of the sun." So that's the way you'll see it. Carpy Chris is sleeping on the couch tonight. Lol. Yeah, I think he will be. Yeah. So there you go. That's it. The total eclipse. I keep saying total eclipse, don't I? The partial eclipse. The partial eclipse of the sun that's happening. I'll just say it again. Thursday. Set your reminder now for Thursday, the 10th of June. So it's 3 days. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 10 o'clock in the morning. It'll last for about 2.5 hours, with the maximum around about 10:30. Punch a piece of hole in a card, stick the card up to the wall, or put it onto another piece of card, and you'll see you'll see an outline of this projection, a projection of the sun. And when the moon starts to cut into it, you'll see it look like a Pac-Man. So there you go. Thanks, James. Thank you, Julie. Thanks all for watching. I've got 51 watching. That's really, really good. Yeah, that's good. The British Brit says hi. You're late, but you can always watch it back. Yeah, I'm about to go now. Thanks, Wendy Hunter. And hopefully we'll be able to get to see this eclipse. And I'll do my best, and I'll see if I can stream it. So wouldn't that be cool, eh? If I can get the solar filter for my telescope, and you won't even need to go out and see it yourself, because you can watch it on my video, can't you? Thanks, Midlands girl. I'll be looking out for the eclipse. Yeah, that'll be good. So will I. Susan, but that was amazing, Stephen. Thanks, enjoy that. Yeah. Thanks all for watching. That was my sort of preview to the eclipse. You eclipsing Big Ben, Stephen. Lol, says Mark. So that's it, yeah. Don't forget, Thursday the 10th, set your alarm now. Put it in your calendar for Thursday, the partial eclipse of the sun that we will be able to see here. Night, Helen. Thanks for watching, and bye to Carby Crisp and Paul, surely not Smith, and anybody else who I haven't mentioned. Thanks for watching. I'll do my best. I'll see if I can put that video out that I did showing you the projection stuff and just, you know, explaining it a bit by tomorrow. And has the sun ever burned a mark on the sensor? Not if you're using a filter, it won't. But if you're using a lens, you've got to be careful when you're pointing a lens towards the sun. You've got to be careful, yeah. It also depends how high up the sun is as well. Anyway, that's it for my video. Looking towards the eclipse. Hopefully you'll all get a chance to see it, and I'll do a live video, and I'll also do a video after the event showing the pictures, and hopefully you'll be able to tell me what you saw, and you know, hopefully we all get a chance to see it because the weather's looking not too bad this week. Anyway, I'm going now. Bye.